Good day, everybody. This is Tian Creek. I hope that you can hear my voice and see the screen. So make sure that everybody's muted here. Okay, thank you for confirming. Hold on a second. I just want to make sure everybody is muted. Ah, there we go. There was a setting on my end. For some reason, all participants' microphones were enabled. Can you believe that? Right. Well, happy Wednesday. Today is the 5th of August, 2026. Can you believe that? I see that there's been a nice discussion already. I see Elena, I see Tom, Jules, Scott, Alfred. Nice. Okay, as usual, this session is being recorded, so you can always go and view the recording at a later stage. And I need to make mention that I, Tian Creek, I'm not a financial advisor, so that means I can teach you my strategies, I can point out to you where I personally would want to buy and sell, but the actual trading decision is still going to have to make yourself. Okay. Right, a little bit about me. I have trained thousands of people to trade and invest and analyze the financial markets, create trading systems. My mantra is the 18.6-year property cycle. So that's one of the reasons why we still risk on at this point. And you can see that risky assets like the stock market, every time that there's a dip, it just gets bought up again. And I firmly believe that the market is a mirror. So if you're going to fear loss, you're going to invite that. So stick to the system, stay fearless, and stay focused. Right. So what's been happening with the markets? If you haven't got the platform open yet, go to KriekTrade.io and sign in with your username and your password. The first thing I'm going to do is go to the daily briefing. You should be receiving the daily briefing in your email inbox. But if you haven't, you can just go and click on the briefing and it will update the briefing on the dashboard here for you. And as you can see, the risk gauge is at 90. Last week, when we saw the big meltdown in the financial markets with the yen strengthening like 1 gazillion pips, catching everybody off guard, as well as equities falling. The risk gauge did move to, I think it was 55, it was neutral, and then it came back again, and then after that, it's basically been at 90 ever since. So what's on the agenda for the day? The key catalysts here: Trump administration 100 billion tariff refund, Nvidia's continued market leadership, persistent momentum in AI adjacent infrastructure and software. So the AI narrative is still intact. And ServiceNow, symbol number NOW, has been coming up a lot lately. So I'd like to go and have a look at that. That seems like a good stock. Are we in a recession? Absolutely not. You can see that the yield curve is not inverted. And we'll go and have a look at the charts now. There's been a few updates to the website. You'll see that there is a new panel here. Breaking news. What's nice about this is if you go and click on the breaking news, it will populate that with what's been going on with the markets. But if there's anything that you want to search, if you want to search for anything in particular, for instance, the Japanese yen, you can just type it in there, and then it will go and pull up all the related news about the Japanese yen. For instance, here 11 minutes ago, the dollar faces summer turning point amid yen intervention. So looks like there's still talks of intervening in the Japanese yen, even though the yen has been coming back. Right, so that's your breaking news. The economic calendar, the calendar section has also been updated. You'll see now that you in addition to having the economic calendar on the right-hand panel, you also have it now, the most important fundamentals written inside the calendar block as well for the day. Okay, so that's a new addition. What else? The charts. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the AI forecast, this one over here. And the AI forecast was telling us that the stock market was going to fall. And I remember saying, listen, I don't think that's going to happen, because, we're in a bullish narrative. And lo and behold, the equities did come down, that fall. So we spent a lot of time on actually making the AI forecast even better, because there's something I want the AI forecast to tell you as well, and that is if the reading of the AI forecast fits in with the underlying narrative. So now, if you go and open up the AI forecast, then there is a new panel that will appear at the top here, and it will give you the projection, right? But also if it is conflicting with the underlying narrative. Now, the underlying narrative is bullish. We had 90. The AI forecast is telling us the market is likely going to fall, and that is a conflict. So that needs to be brought to the reader's attention. I wouldn't act on anything like this. I would only be looking for buying opportunities in a bullish probability, basically. Remember, the risk gauge is at 90. We risk on. So if there is any indicator or any pattern showing a sell signal, take that with a pinch of salt. This is what I am trying to convey. Take it with a pinch of salt. Okay. Right. So the AI forecast, there's a bit more information. The scanner is the same. The portfolio has been updated. What we have here basically is if you have anything in the portfolio, it will show you the P&L percentage wise as well as the dollar value of everything in your portfolio. And yeah, that's about it. Nothing else has changed here. You can still add a custom asset. You can still choose the underlying strategy that you want to deploy. You can still manually trade anything in your portfolio that you've added there, and you can still go and auto generate a portfolio if you want. For instance, let me just see, this portfolio is in the profit at the moment, isn't it? Yeah, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and say auto generate portfolio, and let's say my target annual return is 25%. You can change that, and I want to exclude, for instance, let's say bonds, but it can go and choose crypto, ETF, forex, stocks, and commodities. Then I can go and say, okay, listen, analyze and generate. Then it will go and construct a new portfolio for me. And this one is actually much better than my custom stipulated 25% per annum. It's 56%. It's given a weighting to each stock here or each symbol. You can see there's AMD, Reddit, Shopify. There's gold versus the US dollar. There's twice gold here. Oh, interesting. This one falls under Forex. That's a bug. Gold is not in Forex. That's commodities. That's why there's two there. Okay, so that needs to be removed. And then that's about it. So there's one currency pair, Euro Turkish Lira. Okay. And it's already picked the strategies that it needs to need to be deployed on. For instance, there's a position, swing, position, but some of them are buy and hold. And this is quite interesting because as a trader, we continuously backtest and try new strategies, but sometimes it's just better to just buy and hold it. You'd make more money by just buying and holding the asset instead of trying to day trade it. So that's where this hold a strategy is being selected here. I can go and apply the portfolio, and it's applying. Let's wait for that to complete, and there we go. So now we've got new symbols in the portfolio here, and if I go and slide the auto trading slider, then it will go and auto trade that for me. Okay. The open positions panel has also been updated a little bit. What you can do here is you actually have the option now to close all your winning trades for a profit. So here you can see my net profit is 324. I've got 478 that's in the profit and 154 that's in the loss. If I just want to close the winners, I can go and click on close the winners, and then that will close that for me. Okay, we all know about the backtester, and then the AI assistant has also been upgraded because Gemini, Google, launched a new model. So it's now even more powerful. For instance, I can ask it, why did the yen strengthen so much last week? Let's see what it comes up. Oh, I need to sign in, but I am signed in. Oh, goodness. Okay. Sorry, I'm just making a note here. Okay. Let me refresh quickly. Go back to the AI assistant. Just change the symbol here. Let's use the euro US dollar. Go back to the AI assistant, see if this works. Yeah, wants me to sign in, but I'm already signed in. Okay, anyway, doesn't look like the AI assistant is working today. We'll get that fixed. Then the asset valuation has also been updated. There's more information about you. If you want to see a comprehensive valuation of, for instance, a stock, or even a commodity, or even a currency pair, then you can use the asset valuation. It will do a macro and a microeconomic analysis for you, as well as a technical analysis, combine it, and give you a report that is written through the lens of the methodologies that we apply here. For instance, let's go to Apple, or you can use anything there. It will then go and build a valuation for you, and it will give you everything: market cap, stock price, price earnings, margins, everything about it. Okay, so you can definitely do a comprehensive in-depth analysis of any symbol as well in this dashboard. And that's about it. Okay, that's about it. Everything else stays the same. I know that I had some feedback a couple of weeks ago. People wanting to see the health of the dashboard. So there is a panel here called System Health. You can go and click on that, and then it will use all the KPIs of the system, and then give you a health score. And it will tell you why. That's it. the scanner data. The scanner has not been updated, or some of the symbols have not been updated 56 minutes ago. So if I go to the scanner and I see any buy or sell signal, then it's best to go and have a look at the chart also. For instance, let's go inside the scanner and sort it by signal, and you'll see here, look at that, the scanner, all these have been updated basically an hour ago. It does happen when there's a lot of users in the system, but that's just to make you aware if there's any stale data. It's really not a big deal. I mean, obviously, if it's like a day old, then I'd get worried, but this gets updated frequently, okay? But let's have a look at something that is aligned. The Euro US dollar is aligned for a buy. It says it's bullish. There's a bullish setup confirmed. There's a descending triangle. There's a target here at 1.1658. Okay, click on show chart. And there we go. That's the Euro US dollar. Tom, we'll definitely have a look at the AI assistant. Okay, it's Google released a new model, so we thought it wise enough to implement that model, but now obviously it's introduced a bug. It's most probably just a small thing, so we'll get working on that as soon as possible. Okay. Okay, so this is the Euro US dollar 1 hour chart. There was a buy signal here on the 31st of July already. You can go and see where it comes from. You can go and draw the 1 hour Fibonacci ABCD swing, and you can see here, okay, well, there was the A, there was the B, then the market retraced here to the 382, and now the D extension, the target is going to be the 1.618. And that's where the target comes from. Now, if it hasn't been updated for an hour according to the system health in the scanner, then you can just click on refresh data and then it will update it for you. Okay. All right. So that's basically what the system health is there for. Okay. So just give you an indication if anything is stale or not. Then you can go and view the stop loss, the target, and the entry. And you can see here that the entry is actually quite close to the target. So the risk reward ratio isn't that good. The risk reward ratio is 1 to 0.5. So for every dollar that you're going to risk here, you can only make 50 cents. So that's not a good idea. This would have been a good risk reward ratio, but that entry was missed. So you can wait for another signal. Okay, when the RSI crosses its own moving average again, there will be a signal. Hopefully the market will be lower, and that will give you a better risk reward. Okay. If you double click on the chart, it will bring it back into place. If you double click on it again, it will maximize that for you, or you can use this maximize button in the upper right hand corner. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop there and answer some questions. Okay, so Tom says AI forecast off. How far out should the forecast be considered accurate? Okay, so that's very, very simple. If the narrative is bullish, for instance, if the trend is bullish, if you have a look at the Euro US dollar here, if it is bullish, because we're above the 45 period exponential moving average, and the AI forecast is also bullish, then you can deem that accurate. Okay, because just like any pattern or indicator, if the trend is bullish, the buy, you will make more money than what you are going to lose if you only focus on the buy signals. Okay, same with the AI forecast. So if I go and click on the AI forecast here, then it's showing that the market is going to trend higher. It's going to retrace a little bit, but the market is now currently at 1.1547, and the AI forecast target is slightly higher, and that's why it says it confirms the macro condition. Okay, so I hope that makes sense, what I just said. Let me know if that makes sense. I don't want to explain too much, because then it's like drinking from a fire hose. so, so, so just remember, if the trend is bullish and the AI forecast is giving you a buy signal, great. If the trend is bullish and is giving you a sell signal, take it with a pinch of salt. And then Tristan says, where on the app do we set up a demo account? You don't set up a demo account. The moment that you log in, you are allocated $100,000 in simulated currency to use for simulated trading. So you don't have to go to the account section. You can go to the account section and all this to download the Expert Advisor and all that to connect your account to the dashboard. But if you don't want to do that, you can simply just go to open positions, and then you will have your balance right here, because this is a paper trading account. Okay, so just go and have a look at that. All right. Wow, that was a lot of information. Any more questions before I continue? Any more questions? Anything about the dashboard? Anything about a request that you might have for a symbol, a currency pair, a stock, anything? Okay, so there's a question. Could you refresh us on the action of the RSI, the OSMA, and the WAE? Okay, so if I go to the charts and I open up the charts, then I have these indicators at the bottom of the chart. There we go. Right. This one over here, the WAE, is volume. Right. And the reason why this is important is that you get these bullish volume explosions that signals we have a bull trend. That is why I look at this volume indicator. But if you have a closer look at this indicator, you can also see that there is a yellow line, like a moving average of the volume bars plotted here. And that is what we refer to as the explosion line. That's actually your signal. So when a volume bar closes above this line here, the dead zone line, actually, we call that the dead zone line, then that is confirmed bull trend. This indicates the trend for you. Okay. And if you combine this with the purple line, the 45 period exponential moving average, and that is a very powerful indicator. Okay, a very powerful combination. But I don't stop there. I look at momentum as well. Okay, and momentum is this one here, OSMA. Okay, and this is basically just an oscillator of two moving averages. Okay, if they cross bullish, then you have bullish momentum. If they cross bearish, you don't see those moving averages, but if they cross bearish, then you have bearish momentum. Okay, so you can see that momentum has already been on the rise since the beginning of July on the Euro US dollar. And that would have been a nice gauge to start monitoring the market to see if there is a turning point. And eventually, it did move above the 45 period exponential moving average. So that is momentum for you. And then the one at the bottom is the RSI, which is basically an overbought, oversold indicator. But I don't necessarily use it for overbought, oversold. What I do is, if the RSI line, the blue line here, moves into oversold territory, and it then crosses its own moving average, the golden line, then that's a buy signal. And that's where the buy signals are derived from on the 1 hour chart, because you can see here the RSI crossed its own moving average. That was a buy signal. You see that? So that's what we use the RSI for. Okay. It might be a better idea to rename those indicators to just momentum, volume, and overbought and oversold, just to keep it simple. Remember, any question, anything that comes up here in this session, this whole session is being recorded, okay? So you can always go and review what I explained at a later stage. Next question is from Scott asking, you mentioned gold being a commodity. What near and intermediate term price action do you expect for gold and silver? Okay, so let's go and have a look. Now, the first thing I would like to do, the first step in analyzing gold versus the US dollar would be to go and have a look at the underlying macroeconomic climate. And that is bullish. Okay, we've got the risk gauge at 90. Extreme greed, that means the US dollar is likely going to fall. And if the US dollar is going to fall, then gold will go up. Okay, so in this situation, I will never basically sell gold versus the US dollar. Even if there is a sell signal, even though the trend might look like it's bearish currently on gold versus the US dollar, I will still not sell it. I'd wait for a buying opportunity. And only once a buying opportunity is confirmed. Okay, so that's the first thing. All right, it also says here, what does this regime typically mean? Okay, when we are in extreme greed, safe haven, forex like the US dollar, Swiss yen, and short duration treasuries have typically underperformed. Okay, so I won't buy the dollar when we are in an extreme greed situation. All right, so that's the first thing. Now I can go to the chart and I can go and open up gold versus the US dollar. And we can go and have a look at the daily chart. So what's happening here? Gold basically moved below the 45 period exponential moving average in March and just continued making lower lows and lower highs. This is the first time in a very long time where gold actually moved above its 45 period exponential moving average. So that is a big breakout to the upside, and it is likely due to the US dollar weakening. And this is exciting because now it's starting to align within the risk on bullish narrative. You can see here that the volume is a big breakout in volume here as well. It's moved above its own dead zone line. Momentum has been bullish since the beginning of July. Wow, that's nice. And then if we have a look at the RSI was actually oversold in June already. Okay, and then it crossed its own moving average. So this all was leading up to this probability to change. Right, now the chart itself is telling me to wait for a bullish setup because the current daily candlestick needs to close above the 45 period exponential moving average. So it will likely change tomorrow, and it will say there's a bullish setup that's confirmed. Okay. Now let's go and see what the 1 hour chart is telling me. Where's a potential target? So what I can do is I can go and open up the 1 hour Fibonacci, and you can see here, there's the A, and we have the B. Then the market retraced abruptly to a very shallow, a very shallow C, and that didn't even hit the 382, and now it is on its way to the de-extension, which in this case is the 2.618, because we did not retrace to the 236. Wow. And that de-extension is at 4,652. Okay, so it looks like it's going to head towards the previous highs here that we've seen in May. So the verdict on gold is that yes, it is bullish, and I just wait another day, but there's definitely a buying opportunity setting up here. Absolutely. Sorry, I'm just making a note here. Okay. So the next question is, what does the AI forecast actually show on gold? So let's go and open up the daily chart and see. So now I'm going to go to the AI forecast, and I'm going to click on daily, and what's it showing here? It's showing consolidation. It doesn't show that the market's going to go down. It's just showing that yes, it's going to go up to around about 4,300, and then it's going to come back a little bit and consolidate. At this point, because it does show that it is going to close slightly higher than where the current market is, it's showing that there's a macro conflict, because now remember, the daily, we don't have a confirmed daily candlestick close above the 45 period exponential moving average, but once that happens, then this will be an alignment. Okay, but it's basically saying up. It's basically saying up. I like this. I like it. I like what I'm seeing here. Okay, so that's what we have for gold. I hope that analysis makes sense. Okay, now even with all this volatility that we've seen in the market, I want to remind you that we are still pretty bullish when you have a look at the 18.6-year property cycle. According to this platform, we're likely going to see a recession in 2027. And it looks like we might be at the cycle peak, but not yet. Okay, so it's likely going to happen around about 2027. So I would still take any sell signals or doom and gloom narratives with a pinch of salt. Now, all of this is built into the risk gauge. So the moment that you see the yield curve invert, the moment that you see a spike in volatility, the moment that you see extended price movement of the S&P below its 200 period moving average and all of that, then you're going to see this risk gauge change into a bearish narrative. Okay, and then we're going to confirm this with the 18.6-year cycle, and then we can make a call to go short, for instance, on gold versus the US dollar, or gold short equities and so on, but not at this point. So what does this mean for our favorite symbols? That is, I'd still be selling the Japanese yen. And remember, if I say I'd be selling the Japanese yen, then it means I'd be selling the Japanese yen versus the Australian dollar or the New Zealand dollar, for instance. That means I'd be going long Aussie yen and long New Zealand dollar yen. I'd be buying equities, and I'd be looking for opportunities in crypto. By the way, talking about crypto, let's see. Actually, let's go and have a look at the scanner and see what crypto is aligned here. Go to crypto. Which ones are giving us a signal? This is BNB. I think it's Binance coin. Avalanche, Hedera, Uniswap. Nothing familiar. Oh, there's Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin needs to. Oh, Bitcoin's still bearish. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Oh, today's daily candlestick is about to close above the 45 period exponential moving average. So it's likely gonna be bullish tomorrow. That's nice. That is nice. Let's go back to the scanner and have a look at Forex. Sort that by signal. Okay, so we got a bullish setup on the Euro US dollar, Pound US dollar, Aussie US dollar. So it's just the dollar that's weakening. The Euro Pound, US dollar, Hong Kong dollar, copper. You see, copper and the US dollar shouldn't be in Forex. That's what I mentioned earlier. Gold and copper is finding itself in the Forex scanner. It's definitely not the end of the world. Nothing's broken. It's just a small bug. So that will fix. Yeah, I don't know why this crept in here, but there's nothing else. Really, nothing else. So it's basically just a dollar that's weakening. There's no opportunities, for instance, currently on the Aussie yen, one of my favorites. Let's have a look here. Open up that chart. Oh yeah, that was a big drop. But look, it's making a huge comeback, but it's not above the 45 period exponential moving average yet. Do we have any patterns here? No. Do we have any harmonic patterns? No. AI forecast, it shows it's going to keep on dropping. That's a problem. You see, I'd be worried about this because we are below the 45 period exponential moving average, and it's giving me a a signal here that it will continue to fall, and that might happen. I understand that there's a macro conflict, and because the risk gauge is at 90, this might not happen. But I wonder if we shouldn't wait for this one to move above the 45 period exponential moving average. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So, the $1 million question for today. What can we trade? Alfred's asking for the Aussie US dollar. Let's have a look. AUD, USD. Yeah, that's bullish. Bullish setup confirmed. Let's look at the 1 hour chart. There was a buy signal, but then the market retraced a little bit. So let's see. What is the stop loss and the target? Stop loss 6946 entry. If you would buy it where the market is now, 7055 with a target at 7086. So it's only a 30 pip limit, potential, and you can see here with the risk reward, it's not a good risk reward. I mean, if you move your mouse over to the left here, there's a further explanation of the risk reward ratio. You'd be risking $100 to make only 25. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It needs to retrace, or that is a missed opportunity. And again, how did that opportunity arise? The RSI crossed its own moving average over here. And that happened after we had an up ABCD swing. You see, there's the A, there's the B, then the market retraced. And then it crossed the RSI crossed its own moving average, and that was the buy signal. Yes, it did move a little bit lower, but that was where the signal is. Okay. So to answer your question, yes, it is bullish, and it's heading up. It's heading towards its target. If I was in a buy, I'd stick to it. Okay, so what else is tradable? Let's go to the scanner. and go to what is giving me a signal. Okay, we've got Binance Coin. Okay, so these are a few cryptos that are bullish. Avalanche, Hedera, Uniswap, Robinhood is a stock. That's a bullish setup. ServiceNow. I said I wanted to have a look at ServiceNow. We got Shopify, DNow, Jacob Solutions, Euro US dollar pound, Aussie, Euro again. Oh, Euro pound, excuse me. We got wheat, copper, sugar, some futures, Euro futures, pound futures, copper futures. This is risk on. This is risk on, people. What I can see here is that we definitely in a, all of a sudden it just changed, everything changed into a risk on situation here. Some indexes, Germany, the DAX, the Dow Jones, the French index, Euro stocks. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to have a look at service now. Bullish above the 45, heading to the target. But that is a late entry. Yeah, there was a buy after the C was established. So it's not a good risk reward here. It's not a good risk reward, but still, it is heading up. If you want to be patient, maybe there'll be a bit of a retracement. You can get in with a buy. I don't see any patterns. Let's see what we have from the AI forecast. And that's a macro conflict because this is bullish and now the AI forecast is saying, look, this one's going to fall. That's a macro conflict. Take it with a pinch of salt. Okay, that's something that we did not have in the past. It's something that we have now. So the AI forecast is operating just like any other pattern or indicator. If it's giving you a signal which is against the narrative, take it with a pinch of salt. Okay, I cannot say that enough times. Take it with a pinch of salt. Okay. Um, Next question is, what is the best way to tell that a refresh is completed as processing and not stalled? Okay, so if you go to the scanner, you'll see the last time that the symbols have been updated. Okay, so during times of high volume, high usage, there is basically a gate on the updates. Okay, but at this point, I still wouldn't be worried about a 1 hour delay in the data. Okay, it's not going to, it's not definitely not going to change the buy and sell signals or have a significant impact on the 1 hour chart. Okay, because all our entries, all our signals are based on the 1 hour chart. But if you do see anything that might be um, concerning, just let me know. Okay, so that's basically it. That's basically it. So after the huge fall that we had last week, the market has come back with a vengeance. Let's open up S&P futures here. Look at that. Isn't that insane? S&P has made a new all-time high. Crazy. So everything's bullish here. That's the narrative, and it's made a new high. And that's what that's what I mean to any sell signal, take that with a pinch of salt, especially when we are still bullish with the 18.6 year property cycle. Okay, it's 94% elapsed. I still think it's going to continue until 2027, late 2027. So it's risk on. Okay. Right. So please use the dashboard. I think give about an hour and try the AI assistant again. It will be working. Alternatively, you can go and click on the what's new and help section. Whenever there's an update, the last update was the 3rd of August. Whatever you see improved, the AI assistant was improved, but now you can't log in. Anyway, so whatever has updates have been done to the dashboard is listed here, and then you have the help and frequently asked questions as well that you can consult if you don't know where to find anything in the dashboard. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining me in today's session, people. I really appreciate that, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And if you want to have a chat, just reach out to me. This is your friend from Portugal, Tian Kriek. Have a fantastic rest of your day.